Ladies and gentlemen, as we begin our services here this morning, we would kindly ask if everyone would please turn off or silence all electronic devices. Thank you.
We are all aware that these are very difficult moments. And gathering here this morning gives us an opportunity to grieve together, to mourn together as a family and friends and neighbors and community. In our tradition, we grieve and mourn and mingle prayers and words of comfort. And perhaps the most comforting words in the Jewish tradition are the words of the psalmist. Those ancient words of perhaps 2,500 years ago were written in the darkest moments of King David's life, when he needed strength and a sense of support and comfort, and the people around him so desperately tried to keep his spirits up in the face of his loss, but they couldn't. And so, in the middle of the night, according to tradition, he would keep his windows open, and the breezes of Jerusalem would flow past his bed, and above his bed was his harp. And as those Jerusalem breezes blew across the strings would vibrate gently, and the sound of his harp gave him some measure of comfort. And in his bed, according to tradition, he wrote the Psalms. So I wish to offer you these two Psalms, perhaps the most comforting, the 121st Psalm and the much more recognizable and certainly the most beloved, the 23rd Psalm, with the hope that these ancient words will do for you what they have done for countless generations. So, Adam, for you. Brian, for you. Claire, for you. Robin, for you, and Mike, for family and friends, brothers and sister and nieces and nephews, and everyone here. These are those ancient words. I will lift up mine eyes unto the mountains. From whence shall my help come? My help cometh from the Lord who made heaven and earth. God will not suffer thy foot to be moved. Heaven that keepeth thee will not slumber. Behold, heaven that keepeth Israel doth neither slumber nor sleep. The Lord is thy keeper. The Lord is thy shade upon thy right hand. The sun shall not smite thee by day, nor the moon by night. The Lord shall keep thee from all evil, and keep thy soul. The Lord shall guard thy going out and thy coming in from this time forth and forever. Mizmor LeDavid. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He maketh me to lie down in green pastures. He leadeth me beside the still waters. He restoreth my soul. He guideth me in straight paths for his name's sake. And yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of mine enemies. Thou hast anointed my head with oil. My cup runneth over. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I shall dwell in the house of the Lord forever. Sandy will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. And here amidst your grief, here amidst your tears, we all hope and pray that not through words alone, but through the presence of loved ones and time, your grief will soften. And whatever words you hear and whatever words you think and whatever feelings you have, as deep and difficult to confront as they may be, we all hope in time that your grief will soften and you'll recall only her higher moments. But my words are not what's important today. It's what you have to say. It's what you've been saying to each other and how you've been comforting each other these days. And this morning is an opportunity not only for expressions of grief and sadness, but expressions of how much you loved her and how much she loved you. And how we all hope that love will sustain you and continue to inspire you, for you will always think of her. So, Brian and Robin, we call upon you both and ask you, as difficult as it may be, to express those words of honor and tribute that you feel and that you'll always feel and always express about how your mother lived and how she loved you and how she gave you everything she possibly could. Please come before us.
We've envisioned many future events, but our mom's funeral was not one of them. Most of you knew her as Sandy, but we had the gift of calling her our mom. We can all agree that our mom was beautiful, selfless, hardworking, and always had the best hair and nails. Our mom was also a perfectionist, although she was far from perfect. She was the perfect mom for us. We'll do our best to honor her memory through these words. Our mom was born in the summer of 1959 to her beloved parents, Naomi and Sam Ross. Mom's arrival also made our Aunt Roz a big sister. Naomi and Sam raised Aunt Roz and our mom in the Logan and Oxford Circle neighborhoods in Philadelphia, where they led modest lives. Her mom often told us that she did not always get the material things she wanted growing up, but she always recognized how hard my grandparents worked to provide for her and Aunt Roz. In addition to recognizing her parents' sacrifices, my mom always talked fondly about her summer nights spent in Logan, where all the kids would play outside and the parents would gather to talk. Her face also lit up when she spoke about the family road trip vacations they took to Florida and Canada. After graduating high school in the late 70s, Mom entered the workforce and held various administrative positions, including stints at a law firm and mortgage company. During the week, she worked hard to provide for herself, and she spent most weekends dancing the night away at nightclubs to her favorite 80s dance music. My mom often described this chapter as one of the best of her life. In the mid to late 80s, she met and married her dad, Adam. Shortly after marriage, Mom found her two greatest callings, becoming our mother and an associate of the Medical Mission Sisters. As her mother described last week, nothing excited her more than becoming a first-time mother in 1990 when Robin was born. And in 1992, Mom begrudgingly gave birth to me, a baby boy. Mom used to say she was disappointed when I arrived since she was hoping for another girl, but soon realized God blessed her by gifting her a son. And I think we would all agree. About a year after I was born, Mom returned to work as a secretary for the Medical Mission Sisters in Philadelphia on Pine Road, where she worked for 30 years. When I hear the saying, work a job you love and you'll never have to work a day in your life, I instantly think of my mom, as she would often say how much she loved her job in Medical Mission Sisters because they felt like a second family. My mom was proud of her work in Medical Mission Sisters and would talk about it with such pride. Some of Mom's career highlights included helping dozens of sisters repatriate to the U.S. after years of service, volunteering at the local prison, tutoring inmates, and working her way to coordinator of the Life Right Department. Since Mom was a member of the Medical Mission Sisters family, we by default also became members of the Medical Mission Sisters family. Throughout the years, Medical Mission Sisters was always there for my mom and our family. Many examples of their support come to mind, but one stands out. The memorial they held for my grandmother after her passing in 2016. The Medical Mission Sisters community recognized how difficult my grandmother's passing was on my mom and my family. So they rallied behind us and put on this beautiful service to honor our grandma. We're thankful for our mother's time at the Medical Mission Sisters, as it was genuinely one of the few aspects of her life that brought her joy and peace. As children, we may not have always filled Mom's second calling with joy and peace, but Mom always filled our lives with love. Mom formed one half of a dynamite parenting duo along with our dad, Adam. Like all couples, Mom and Dad did not always see eye to eye. However, they were always in line to ensure we had the best lives they could provide. As we've grown older, we've realized how fortunate we were to have both our parents as staples in our lives. Mom would help reinforce the gratitude by reminding us that she could not have raised us without Dad. And we know Dad feels the same about Mom. It's a shame that as children we can't fully understand or appreciate our parents' sacrifices. When looking back at our earlier years, we now marvel at all the sacrifices our mother made for us. It was a staple in our lives for the longest time. Mom waking up each morning at 4:30 to do laundry, prepare our lunches, and iron our clothes for that day of school. She would then send us off to school and was right there to pick us up after. When we got home, Mom always helped us with our homework and made us wonderful home-cooked meals. Not only was my mom, or Sandy, a fantastic mom to Robin and me, but she was the best dog mom to her Shelties, Smokey and Shiloh. My mom did not see Smokey and Shiloh as dogs, but as family members. Smokey and Shiloh both lived long and happy lives under my mom's care. As she would say, she was with both of them until their very ends. We haven't had too much to smile about over these past few days, but knowing that Smokey and Shiloh greeted her at heaven does make us smile. Along with ensuring we were always taken care of, our mom always supported our passions and interests. She's the one who helped foster my love for Philadelphia sports. Whenever our teams won a significant game, Mom was in line the following day at Modell's to secure me the commemorative hat and t-shirt. At the beginning of each Sixers season, she asked me what teams I'd want to see and when they were in town, and she always got me tickets to those games. My dad and I wanted to go to the NFC Championship in 2018, and tickets were nearly impossible to get. But my mom found a way to get them. Through my mom's support of my sports passions, we developed a bond over our mutual affection and admiration for Allen Iverson. Allen, as she referred to him. I was drawn to Iverson's athletic prowess. Mom, on the other hand, was drawn to Allen's candor, tenacious attitude, and the close relationship he had with his mother. In typical mom fashion, she surprised us with tickets to Allen's Hall of Fame ceremony induction in 2016. We traveled to Springfield, Massachusetts for the ceremony and had such a memorable weekend. It was one of the best times we've ever had together. Since I married in October, I often think about becoming a parent one day. And I'm not going to lie, the thought is intimidating, especially when I start to think about my upbringing and the gold standard my mother set. I wonder whether or not I can deliver the same to my future child. But during these past few days, I've gained assurances that I can meet Sandy's gold standard because she instilled the blueprint into my heart and soul through her unconditional love. My mom's favorite book to read to me as a child was Love You Forever. It tells the story of a mother's unconditional love for her son. The book follows the mother as she sings a lullaby to her son at various stages of her life, from when he is a baby to when he is a grown man. As the son becomes older and more independent, the mother continues to sing the same lullaby, even if she has to sneak into his room to do so. Eventually, when the mother becomes too old and frail to visit her son, he returns the gesture by holding her and singing her the lullaby that begins with, "I'll love you forever." My mom would always say that one day she would become old like the mother in the story, and that I would come back like the son to hold her and sing her the lullaby, and I promised her I would. Unfortunately, Mom and I will never have that moment, but I want you all to know I'll love her forever. Thank you.
Brian, Robin, beautifully spoken. We are all aware that you are hurting deeply, and rightly so. And comfort comes in different ways. And what we've all been trying these last days to offer you strength and comfort. And the hope that in time you'll be able to heal to some measure, if not fully, but doubtfully fully. So I'd like to remind you of how our Jewish tradition teaches us to mourn a deeply hurtful loss. There are 3 ways to mourn. First is to cry, and you've been crying, and we've been crying with you. And those tears have been so deeply felt, and sometimes you've cried your eyes out over these last days. And tears came hard, and then tears came easily, and you've been crying. Step 1. Step 2, silence. We go silent because mingled with our tears, and in those moments when we're not crying, we think about her. We think about her life. In our quiet, silent moments, when there's no one else speaking to us, and we need not speak to anyone, we think about her and her life and what she gave to you and to the world. And there's so much that you are thinking and remembering. How many mothers get up? 4:30? I heard 3:45 a.m. from Robin. How many mothers do that day in, day out? How many wives do that day in, day out? Why did she do that? Because you, Adam, you, Robin, you, Brian, you're the center of her life. You, Mike, you, Claire, you became part of that central core of her life. Roz and your family and those of you who are sitting amongst us, she became the center of your lives as you became the center of her life. And she did so much for you and for the world. And in your silent grief, you remember each of these elements and you think about it and mourn that you'll no longer have that physically. But the third element in how we grieve after tears and silence, the rabbis teach, we must sing. How will you sing? You will sing by laughing. And why? Because she loved to laugh. She loved to hear you and for her to crack jokes. And maybe she was your best audience because she had a great laugh. You could probably tell her anything and get a laugh out of her. But that's why you must sing. Sing with the way she laughed. And sing the praises of a woman who spent her professional career with the helping hands that reached out to those who were so needy and so desirous of help. And she was a part of that community. She wove herself into that community, and with her ability to organize and to be a perfectionist, as you said, Brian, even though we know that nothing is perfect. Life is not perfect. Our world is not perfect. But the rabbis teach that that's the only reason why God created humanity. Do you know the angels in heaven before Adam and Eve were created? The angels were arguing with God. God, why do you need to create people? They're only going to be trouble for you. And we've been trouble. They're only going to mess up whatever you've already created in the universe. Don't you understand how difficult it's going to be for you, God? But then there were other voices in heaven that said, you must create people. You must create humanity. Why? Because God, you created an imperfect universe. You need someone to help perfect the world. You need someone to help heal the world. You can't do it yourself. So God created human beings. And that's our purpose, should we understand it. Our sole purpose in life, no matter what course we choose, no matter what path, is to help heal the world, help perfect the universe. And there are those who understand this and struggle to do so. Sandy struggled to do so. To be perfect herself, to make you perfect, Adam, to make you the perfect children, to make all of you whose lives have been touched by hers, to make you more perfect. That's all she wanted. But she had to realize perfection is unachievable. Maybe that's why she could laugh so deeply, so heartily, so freely, because she knew laugh in the face of an imperfect world. Because what else can we do when we realize nothing is perfect? No one is perfect. Not you, not her, no one. So, continue to cry as you will, and then go silent and think and remember and appreciate as she appreciated every day of her life. And then sing and laugh. And perhaps in time, don't remember the tears. Remember the laugh. You have the capacity to heal yourself. Don't remember the tears in time. Remember the laugh. Remember the love. Remember the devotion. And in her name, strive to make the world not perfect, because we can't, but a little better. Just a little better. Make your life, the lives of the people you love, the lives of every human being you encounter, make those lives a little bit better, and you'll bring her back to life. You have the capacity in your hands, in your mind, in your heart, to bring her back to life. Every opportunity you take to make one life that much better, she lives. Cry, and you will cry. Be silent and remember, and then sing. Sing her praises. Sing her highest moments. Sing her smile, and sing her laugh. And she will bless you for the rest of your lives. Amen. We rise for the El Mole Rachamim. For the most amazing mother, for the most wonderful sister, for the most devoted wife, for the most wonderful Sandy you could imagine, we offer these memorial words. El Mole Rachamim Shochein Bamromim, Hamtzei Menucha Nechona Tachat Kanfei HaShechina. Lenishmat, Sandra, the daughter of Samuel and Naomi. Shehalcha La'olama, Ba'al Harachamim Yitzurur Bitzurur HaChaim Et Nishmata, Adonai Hu Nachalata, V'tanuach B'Shalom Al Mishkava, V'nomar Amen. God, full of compassion, Thou who dwellest on high, grant perfect rest unto Sandra's soul. Sandra, the daughter of Samuel and Naomi, for she has departed from this world. Lord of mercy, bring her into thy presence, and may her soul be bound up in the bond of eternal life. Be thou her possession, and may her repose be peace, peace eternal. May peace, true peace, be hers forever. Amen. Interment services will continue at King David Cemetery, and our service here is concluded. Please be seated.
May we have the pallbearers, please? We would ask if you would all rise once more, please.